Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing fantastic. Today's Division 2 state of the game was filled with a whole lot of content, a whole lot of something and a whole lot of nothing. If you missed it, well, you didn't miss much, because for everything and every point that the developers made, they also took it back by clarifying, or in some ways indirectly saying that they weren't wrong, they were always right. In terms of difficulty, the developers threw a small or short jab to individuals who felt like the M1A was the end all be all. The developers clarified that, you know what, while you didn't have the M1A build, you could have used a skill build instead. However, they also backtracked on that statement by saying that yes, skill builds are underperforming, and the decision to nerf the M1A in combination with other named items and removal of perfectly rooted left the game in a void. That is a mouthful, obviously. So as a result of all this, M1A Nerf will be reverted in PvE, and as for PvP, they will only nerf the M1A by 20%. Now this leads into the conversation around build diversity. They mentioned that new gear and talents geared towards hybrid of weapon and skill builds will be aligned with a future content update. Now here's the problem with that. I see where they're coming from. I see the interest or the idea in bringing in a new gear set. However, bringing in a new gear set will do nothing but add to the amount of work that the developers themselves will have to do, since we still have broken talent. This is just me looking out for the devs and trying to make sure that they don't overwork themselves by adding new items without fixing the old stuff, which will then add to the amount of stuff they will have to fix. But if they can get everything cleared and right before then of course, bring on the new gear sets. Exotics Power Fantasy discussion was also one of the main highlights of the stream. They said we misunderstood their statements in the past about exotics shouldn't be powerful. They said exotics are supposed to be best in slot. You just have to engage with the exotic talent, and you need to make a build around it. So they're encouraging players to make a build around specific exotics. The problem here, however, is that you cannot build around an improbable scenarios. A lot of these exotics have crazy scenarios around them that could either induce seizure with the upcoming rifle in the raid, or the fact that some of them are just outright worse and terrible. They say they don't want everybody running around with the same gun, but the reality is, every time you walk into the dark zone, you see True Patriot, Pestilence, Imperial Dynasty holster, and that's basically all you're going to be fighting against. Now, speaking of dark zone and player to NPC interaction, True Patriot was also a highlight. Heal and repair was mathematically overtuned. That was the developers' words. They said it was healing more than your average healing build should. And I don't know if they actually played their game, because no, it wasn't. True Patriot wasn't healing more than your average heal build. Now here are some realities here. White Flag is still broken and inconsistent, and I'm hoping that they would fix that very soon, even though they mentioned that it was fixed in the patch note. I tested it out and it's still broken. They removed the shade level visuals from squad display, and I was hoping that they would address that, but they didn't address that either. But I guess we all know why they removed that. They don't want a lot of people snooping around and spying around, hence why you also can no longer inspect players on the leaderboards for their builds. And I see a lot of people saying that casuals are the problem with this game. A vocal few, a vocal minority in the stream were saying casuals are the problem with this game because casuals don't want difficulty and all that kind of stuff. See, here's the issue. If you get rid of the casual players in your game, only 1 to 5% of the player base will be left. And I can guarantee you more than 95% of gamers on Earth are casual players. So you don't want to create an elitist approach because you're trying to make things too hard or make it too difficult. And I think a lot of these problems that they're having with this gear can be easily fixed if they just nerf these enemies in the way they should. There shouldn't be a reason why an enemy has 100% accuracy while blind firing from cover. That just doesn't make sense at all. And I understand the challenge has to be there. Making this harder doesn't mean you have to make it a bullet sponge. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.